Hey, Popcorn Junkies, hope you're well. We obviously always react to the big tentpole movies, Venom, House of Gucci, Ghostbusters, what have you. We've done reactions to those. But we also like to react to those films that perhaps the other YouTube reactors, movie trailer reactors, sort of don't home in on. And we have a passion for films, indie, cult, horror, foreign, you name it, we're up for it. We're up for anything. I saw a film called Deerskin this week. Weird as shit, and we will be reviewing it. I think Nanny Di saw it too, so we might do a double header. But this film is called Censor, as in not the senses, but censor as in someone who censors films. It's a British film, it's a British horror film, and it's directed by Prano Bailey-Bond. And I think she's a Welsh director. She made a short film a few years ago, about 6 years ago, called Nasty, which was around the concept of video nasties. Now, in the UK, I'm sure it must have been the same in America too, we had this thing in the 80s where there was a bit of hysteria, really. It was really hysterical, as in not funny, as in just batshit crazy sort of reaction to a number of what were called VHSs. And VHSs, video cassettes, were the first time, really, that movie entertainment could come into the home. It was a very exciting time for me. I remember one of my mum's girlfriends bringing in a pirated copy of E.T. I mean, this is terrible, I know, back in the day. I mean, they were even pirating back then, but on VHS. And at the crucial moments in a film, you'd see someone stand up in the cinema and you'd see the picture all kind of fade out and what have you. But back then, films like The Evil Dead, I Spit on Your Grave, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Driller Killer, classic example. These were all called and termed video nasties, and legislation was actually brought in the UK to limit their sale, limit their rental, and all that sort of stuff. This film, Censor, as I understand it, though we're about to watch the trailer, is, as I say, directed by Prano Bailey-Bond, is a revisiting of the themes that that she'd explored in her short Nasty, which kind of revolved around a boy sort of feeling or believing that he saw his father within these gruesome tapes and footage shown within the film that he's watching on telly, which is a horror film. And then it becomes a sort of blurred boundary between what's real, what's fiction, what's in the video nasty, what's in his life, all that sort of stuff. A little bit Cronenberg. Now, this stars Niamh Algar, and she's one of our favourite actresses. She was in Raised by Wolves, but she was also in the Channel 4 series called The Virtues, alongside Stephen Graham, directed by Shane Meadows. And she is a cracking actress. So I'm really excited about her being at the core of this. I'm hearing that it's a little bit like a movie that was released a few years ago called The Barbarian Sound Studio. And in that sense, I think what we're going to get is a really sort of stylized, sort of purposefully dated, relishing kind of 80s bits like VHS recorders and players and sort of degraded, not high grade sort of footage and what have you. So it's a horror, and I think it follows a similar trajectory. And this is interesting because I remember when I made The Masseuse about 4 or 5 years ago, and a number of people have said to me, oh, you should explore that sort of world a bit more, you know, the dark, twisted world of the body and all that kind of stuff. And I love that kind of gritty, dark, David Lynchian, weird shit. So it's intriguing that this director has revisited the themes of a short she made 5 years ago to make this feature film. I'm intrigued to see what this is like and how good this is. So we're going to watch the trailer. I want there to be a good British horror film.
This depiction is dangerous.
Come on, Enid.
I'm cutting it.
Butchery, sadism, murder.
A wave of depraved and corrupt horror video.
Confusing fiction with reality.
Doug Smart, producer, Ident Investment Films. Maybe Enid could watch my latest Frederick North submission. Wanted a woman's eye on his film.
Good to say.
There's this actress. I've got this feeling that's Nina, my sister. You know, if someone did take it, then they're still out there.
You've never been clear on exactly what you remember.
You
be surprised what the human brain can edit out when it can't handle the truth.
Someone's losing the plot.
I was wondering if you had anything else on this actress. What's going to happen to her?
That's top secret.
People think that I create horror. Horror is already out there in all of us.
People think I create horror, but horror is already out there in us. I like that. I like that trailer a lot. I saw one at the cinema and it wasn't as good as that, whereas that I didn't feel was trying too hard. I like the idea that, you know, within our own heads, we edit reality. We can edit our own interpretation of things. We can edit awfulness and horror into things. And I like that theme of seeing, I presume maybe it's her sister, in the footage. Could she have been sort of taken off, abducted? Reminds me, there's a film by Paul Schrader called, I believe it's called, is it Hardcore? Where a father believes that his daughter has been taken into the porn world and potentially, you know, could be used in what's called a snuff movie. That looks intriguing. What do you think, guys? I think it has that thing. There was a movie released a couple of years ago called In Fabric. It does have that Barbarian sound studio feel to it. It's really using soundtrack as much as it's using visuals. I'm loving all the kind of VHS distortion feedback. You know, that wonderful thing that when you put a VHS on pause, you get that sort of ghosting effect. Lends itself well. And also that wonderful theme that you get with censors, which I often think about, is if you're watching all this kind of really hardcore material, does it desensitize you? Does it numb you off? Does it change your moral sort of compass or perspective on things? And as some of those characters there's clearly a case of them trying to suggest she's seeing something that isn't there, a bit of gaslighting. Has she perhaps worked too hard? Is she a bit too involved? All that kind of stuff. I think that looks intriguing. I think it looks good. And we're going to review it. Tell us what you think.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.